Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another great webinar with Sit and Learn, a project by Stand and Stretch. Today we're going to be talking about some really cool stuff. We've had the question come across many times, whether or not what a company or a business should do a mobile app or a mobile site. So today's webinar is actually going to be pretty quick. I think I've only got 18 slides to go through. I want to sort of give you an opportunity to learn about what a mobile site is versus a mobile app. This is something I'm going to share with people, including future clients, current customers, and this type of webinar is one of those informational things I want to get done and walk through and have a great time informing everybody on uses of the mobile opportunities coming up. So I appreciate everybody's attention and showing up. Thank you for being here. You know, please tweet along and post Instagram photos. Use the hashtags that are provided on the bottom right there. And if you'll take a look around, you'll notice that somewhere in your dashboard you're going to have an ability to raise your hand. Does everybody see that? Click the raise your hand button if you see it. All right, very good. Cool. So one of the great things, and I apologize for having this raspy voice. I'm not trying to be debonair. This is the end of a cold spell for me, so I'm actually feeling better, but my voice is still sounds like the pollen's still getting to me. So what we're going to do is talk about what's right for your business, mobile site versus a mobile app. Just going straight into it. My name is Lucas Schaefer. This is our 10th webinar, actually, so we have 9 other webinars on our YouTube page. So you'll be able to find information about our past webinars, watch the videos. They're usually about an hour long, somewhere between 30 minutes and an hour long. So that's a picture of me holding up my hands. And, of course, our main sponsor is Stand and Stretch. We, at Stand and Stretch, we're an interactive marketing agency specializing in web, mobile, social, advertising, and print. Find out more at standandstretch.com. Very cool stuff. And then we also have partnered with the Continuing Education Group at Columbus State University. So we educate people of all ages and provide regional resources for personal and professional development. So you can check out their classes at columbusstate.edu/CE. Now I will be doing 2 new classes, blogging for business and a social media course. It's a 1-week, 3-day course at the Continuing Education this fall. So sign up and participate. Go check it out, and I can give you more information upon request. Thank you. Cool. So diving right into our presentation today, I want to get in talking about some of the ideas around mobile. We're going to talk about some stats. What is a mobile site? What is a mobile application? We all probably have seen these, but what are they really? What do they represent? And then responsive web design. So most of what we talk about today is why does it all matter for business? And I have a very informal set of polls today. And let me see if I can pull one out here. So what type of mobile opportunity do you have for your business or site? So this is basically geared at asking you a very simple question on, do you have a mobile site? Do you have a mobile application? Do you have a responsive website? Or do you have none? And this is a multiple choice, so you can select multiple answers. And so what we'll do is we'll see what's happening with the polls. Looks like we have some responses coming in. I'll move this around so I can see it better. Very good. Let's share with everyone. Looks like we have a couple of people who have a mobile app, have a responsive website, and none. So I appreciate your answer, responding to the poll. So we're going to move right into some stats. And of course, if you've been to a Sit and Learn webinar, one of the greatest things that I like to pull together are the industry-specific stats. So I'm just going to read through a couple of these things just to get you thinking about the idea of what mobile and why you should be considering a mobile site or a mobile application. By 2013, mobile phones will overtake PCs as the most common web access device worldwide. That's a big deal. The total number of PCs in use will reach 1.78 billion units in 2013. And what we're looking at is that smartphones and browser-equipped enhanced phones will exceed 1.8 billion units and will be greater than the installed base for PCs thereafter. Mobile web users are typically prepared to make fewer clicks on websites. So we're looking at a on-the-go user. We're using, where I am noticing that most of our websites are showing 30 to 40% of the visitors are coming from mobile devices, whether it be iPads, iPhones, smartphones. Mobile ad spend for 2013 is set to reach $7.19 billion, which is a great thing, because I think you're thinking about how are you getting businesses to find you online. Advertising through the mobile ad space could be an opportunity. It's very lucrative. We're seeing a lot of that interaction coming, and mobile ads are invasive. They're not so complicated. Facebook is also set to garner 18.4% of its share in the U.S. mobile display advertising market. So Facebook is going to almost represent 1/5 of the mobile display advertising market this year. 42.8% of marketing executives plan on increasing mobile marketing spending in 2013. And of course, there will be over 73 million mobile video viewers in 2013. I've noticed that personally. I'm watching more and more YouTube videos that are linked through social media and websites and blogs, and watching them on my phone directly. And that has a lot to do with the ability for your mobile phone to carry a higher bandwidth. Prior, if you could think about this for 5 seconds, prior to 4G and 3G, you had what was known as the Internet capable phone. And basically, it was set for just email and simple text messaging and plain text, plain message text compatibility, going back and forth with transferring data in the form of text with the paging technology. And then you started seeing 3G roll in. We started seeing pictures become more of a feature of shareability. And then you saw video. So we're watching video take over. So that's good stuff. Some more information based on stats. I'm not going to try to read all these, but I think one of the biggest one is that 70% of all mobile searches result in an action within 1 hour. Wow, that's great. I think that represents my attitude, because if I'm looking for it on my phone, it means I need it immediately. I'm in the store and I'm searching for something. I'm trying to locate this business. I'm trying to figure out the hours. What's the phone number because their door's locked? Those types of things. Action within a very short amount of time. Mobile search has grown over 500% in the past 2 years. 50% of all local searches are performed on mobile devices, and that's a stat from Microsoft. It takes 90 minutes for the average person to respond to an email. It only takes 90 seconds for the average person to respond by text. That's a big deal. Very cool. Let me move some of this stuff around on my dashboard real quick so I can make sure I'm getting to everything here. What I'm doing is moving the questions. So if you guys have questions or want me to elaborate on anything, please stop. This is going to be stop me and ask me a question. This is going to be a short presentation, and I just want to go through the definitions of what mobile sites versus mobile apps are. So just to kind of finish up here, Cyber Monday generated 1.46 billion in e-commerce. Now, did you know that 750 of that can be attributed to sales made on mobile devices during this 5-day holiday? So what they're saying is attributed to sales. The research, the identification, the looking for search results on things and purchasing and making the recommendation referral model built from, half of the revenue generated had some type of tie-in to mobile devices. And so we're also seeing that location-based services, mobile ads, and search results are increasing click-through rates up to 200%. So what it's saying is that when you search for something on your mobile phone, it's geolocating you, or it's asking you for permission to find where you are, because if it can find out your location and the fact that you just searched for, Buffalo Wild Wings, it's going to give you the one that's closest to your area, which is going to increase the amount of click-through rate. So if you're a business looking to be found through mobile device and search through mobile devices, having an opportunity for your site to be geolocated is going to be an opportunity that you can't miss out on. Okay, so that was really based on more of a real-time set of information, and this is based more on what the users want. So what are the users telling consumer-based research that we need to identify before creating a mobile-friendly site or a mobile application? So 96% of consumers have encountered sites that weren't designed with mobile in mind. It also found that when it happens, it's bad for the business because 48% of them reported feeling frustrated and annoyed. And let me give you just a short example of what I think is happening here. I pull out my phone and I pull up a website, and all I really need is a couple of things: a phone number, a listing, a map, some kind of get directions, your address so I can search and find it and get to your location, or maybe just trying to find out your hours. So why isn't the site that I'm looking at now mobile friendly and telling me these things right up front? What ends up happening is I see the full size website, which is coming up in the next one, which if I was trying to find information on your site and you did not optimize it to make it mobile friendly, I would personally be frustrated. You get into the pinch and zoom. You're pinching in and you're zooming into this non-mobile friendly website, and by the time you get to the portion of the site that has your information on it, you've lost interest. So 75% of these users prefer mobile friendly sites and say that when almost all say that when they've encountered this site, 96% of consumers say they've encountered sites that were clearly not designed for mobile devices. This is both a big problem and a big opportunity. So you need to be considering what's an opportunity to capture these mobile users. The fastest path to mobile customers is through a mobile-friendly website. If your site offers a great mobile experience, users are more likely to make a purchase. So, and then the last one there, 67% of mobile users say that when they visit a mobile-friendly site, they're more likely to buy a site's product or service. So what are the users wanting? So they're wanting the mobile experience, and the user experience is very important even when it's from a desktop. But now we're finding that there's a large percentage of people wanting the mobile friendly version of your business, whether it be a mobile site or a mobile application. So here's a great view of what the expectations for your standard website on a mobile phone, and then also the mobile website. So this is a look at the mobile website, and it refers to the access of the www browser-based internet services from a handheld mobile device such as a smartphone or a tablet. So the instance I just explained, you'll see that in the picture on the right side, you have the pinch and zoom issue of looking at a standard desktop website from a mobile phone. And on the left side, you see something that's very optimized to get the minimized amount of clicks and also find a store, coupons and promos, track my order, and then order from our menu. So you can see that there's two different attitudes there. It's very, very conscious effort to make this happen. I also see that the polls are up, and let's see if I can get this one up and get some information out of you. So have you ever visited a business site on your smartphone and have become discouraged? So yes, I've closed the window and I move on. So I'm done. I'll wait till I get back to the computer and I'll check it out. Yes, I pinched until I zoomed all the way in. Or no, all the sites I visit from my phone work fine. So I just wanted to try to get a little bit of feedback. My frustration is that I pinch and I get in there and I'm like, okay, 9 out of 10 times the site is not mobile optimized. So that gives a little bit of frustration. So your results kind of reflect that same attitude here. We see that a large percentage of us just close the window, move on, and the others try to get in there with their phones and make sense of their site. So moving right in, what is a mobile site overall? What happens when not having a mobile-friendly site helps your competitors? 61% of the users said that if they didn't find what they were looking for right away on a mobile site, they'd quickly move to another site that was mobile optimized. So what's happening is not having a mobile-friendly opportunity is pushing people into the areas that people do have the mobile-friendly opportunities. 79% of people who don't like what they find on one site go back and search for another site. And they said 50% of the people said that if they like a business, they will use them less often if the website isn't mobile friendly. So even if they like your business, they probably won't go visit your mobile site or your website on their phone. So on the right side, the non-mobile friendly sites can hurt a company's reputation. 48% are feeling frustration. 36% say they feel like they're wasting their time. So these are big groups of people, the feedback that's coming back from the eMarketer and some of the sites that I pulled this information from. So you're considering mobile site, and it comes down to the pros and cons. I'm going to do the same type of approach when it comes down to the mobile site. So some of the pros, let me just talk about this very clearly. Mobile sites, the portability is that it can be cross-platform. You can have it on an Android phone, an iOS phone, a Windows mobile phone. It has low cost because it's basically just a miniature website. It usually costs right around, it depends on how diverse you get. So, these can be just general terms. A great website could be $10,000, but a low-cost mobile site could be $3,000 to $4,000 to $5,000. It's because it's minimal. You're only trying to perform one action, and that is the user experience in a mobile opportunity. You usually have less than a minute to make them get an action, whereas a typical website you have up to 3 minutes, and they're easy to build and update. So what are some cons of this? So you have limited environment. So you're also working with a structured, usually it's HTML5 language that helps you code. So you have a limited to that one environment, and you don't have full access to the actual phone itself sometimes, and that would increase the cost. So limited environment on that. Access to functionality is remote. Like I mentioned, you'll be dealing with viewing your mobile site from a remote source like a hosting account, and it doesn't reside on the actual phone itself. So the functionality is based from web thought processes and not so much from phone functionality. And then you have some browser compatibility. Some people might actually land on your mobile site from a desktop version, and of course there's no download experience. You don't get the download experience. So just another quick poll here to keep you guys rolling. This is cool. So what out of these do you find are most important about mobile sites? So is it low cost? Is it the cross-platform? Easy to build? Portability? So if you're thinking about what's the best thing about this, what are some of these features here? What do you find more important? Low cost, cross-platform, easy to build. The first question is somebody comes in and says, Lucas, I want a mobile app, and I go, all right, we'll talk a little bit more about this, and they go, and I said, so have you thought about Android or iPhone? And they go, oh, you mean I can't put it on all of them? I was like, well, it's going to be a set different cost for every one of them. And then they get the idea of thinking, oh, well, that's too much money or too expensive. So it's like we have a good divide here. So we have a diverse group of people looking at different needs from this. Low cost seems to not be the differential when it comes to deciding on this. Very interesting. So mobile applications. I once wanted to be a mobile application developer, so I can talk very keenly about what represents the mobile application world to a business, what it represents to an interactive agency like Stand and Stretch. So we become an opportunist when we wanted to create an app that was going to make $1 billion, right? So what happened when we started into the app and mobile application world is that we found that in order to be successful, you had to dedicate a lot of time and energy to doing cross-platform things. So for the general idea, a mobile app or mobile application is a software application designed to run on smartphones. So technically, at some point, we'll need web access, so web services or some kind of back-end that has to do with web design and development. But the function, the base of this, it can exist all on the iPhone or the Android phones, the Windows phones. So they're usually available through application distribution platforms like the App Store, the Play Store with Google, and Windows app area as well. So basically, one of the biggest problems that we have with mobile applications is that the cost is so high. When it comes to putting together a mobile site or a mobile application, I go, you got cross-platform, low cost, and then a mobile application, you have all the cool stuff, and here's some of the pros. So more control over the environment. So now we can have the phone locate your GPS and pull out friends that are also in the same area. So we have control over the phone's environment, and it's very cool. We can access the the piece of the hardware, the accelerometer that can tell if the phone's moving, if it's being rocked, if it's being shifted, if it's being, waved around. We can access the phone, things like that. So the other part is you actually have an app. It's downloadable from the App Store. The coolest thing you could ever tell one of your customers is, oh, we have an app. Go download it from our App Store. Go to our website and click on the download our app, and then that's just an amazing marketing opportunity. So then we also have promotional value that comes out of that, to be able to sell that. But the cost, right now, what I put that as a pro because I wanted to mention that there are right now companies that are making millions of dollars generating templates for apps. So cost question mark means depending on what type of app that you needed, you could probably find a low-cost solution on one platform. So iPhone, X amount of cost, and then Android, Windows, you just multiply your entire cost for that app development times 3, because at this point right now there's only a few platforms that allow you to do cross mobile development on multiple platforms at one time, and even then it's still limited to XML, and it looks more like a web project. Okay, so some of the cons is it's expensive, it's complicated. You got 3 platforms. You need 3 different types of developers. Most of the times you don't find a developer who specializes in the iOS software, in the Android software, and the Windows software. You have to get 3 independent people usually if you're not contracting this out to a company that has already hired 3 different people, which is even more complicated. And also it requires 2 times the amount of time to design and develop, and it's hard to update. So you can imagine, websites I can update. Nobody has to go and install the latest, greatest thing, because that comes across in the phone. It says you want to update now, update later, automatic update. With a mobile web, it automatically gets the updates through updating the resource that is the website. So just a quick, simple, another one of these polls for everybody. So out of this, what did you find were most important about the mobile apps? Control over the environment, the downloadability, promotional value, or the cost variance, and the ideas that go into that. So this is really just a cool way to look at, promotional value over downloadability or control over the environment. And looks like we got a good split again. And it's wonderful how, cost is not being part of most of this discussion. So I really find that interesting. So it's very neat. So we're on slide 13 of 18. So we're about to get to some of the nuts and bolts. So what are some limitations of mobile? I'm just going to walk through these real quick. We have small screen size. That's an obvious one, right? So you have to have a really great designer putting together the user experience for you. Lack of windows. So you really don't have the opportunity to go to the multiple tabs and to bounce around and to look into different segments and templated areas of a website. Navigation's always limited. There's a lack of technology that's available for some mobile phones. So if it's an older phone and you develop this really cool, sleek HTML5 and JavaScript application, but an older phone doesn't support it, then you're going to have some issues. We'll see that sort of become a less of an issue as smartphones adopt HTML5 as a standard. Types of page, some types of the pages won't be accessible. Speed is a limitation. If your site's not fast, then it's going to cause a problem. Broken pages. On many devices, a single page is viewed on desktop as broken into segments, so you might find this slowing navigation. Compressed pages. When you're using a cache, there's an issue with compressed pages on mobile phones. The size of the message, the cost, location of the mobile user, so that's always some type of limitation. And then the situation of which ad reaches the user, so trying to be conscientious of what users viewing from your mobile opportunity, whether it's an app or a mobile website. So one thing I wanted to touch on to try to finalize all of these issues is that there is a website design approach that we use today. Even when a client comes to us and they say, well, our interface to our client is over half through mobile. We notice that our traffic is mobile, and they're wanting to be mobile. Then we take an approach that is usually crafted at looking at the lowest common denominator or the most used version of the the site, and that would be the mobile. If it's over 50% of your traffic, you should look at responsive web design. So I pulled one of these images off of themeforest.net, which is a sort of a WordPress framework environment. And you can see here that you have one website to serve all different views of your content. So if you go to standandstretch.com and look at Stand and Stretch from a desktop, it looks like one thing. If you go to an iPad, it looks like another thing. And if you look at standandstretch.com from a mobile phone, it's actually optimized to be responsive to whatever device is viewing it from. So you get an idea that we're actually taking on the mobile site, the desktop, and the tablet version of our sites, so that if somebody's viewing us, we're reaching 100% of our mobile opportunities and our desktop opportunities, which is something you should be considering with your next web design opportunity. How are you going to be driving the mobile opportunities into your sales strategy, into your marketing? It's something very, very, very needs to be taken into a very good consideration. So I sort of put something together here, why it matters. When it comes to deciding whether to build a native app or a mobile website, the most appropriate choice really depends on your end goals. What are you doing to define those goals, and going to a company like Stand and Stretch and saying, we have these set of goals, we need you to help us accomplish this. If you were developing an interactive game, an app is probably going to be your best option. But if your goal is to offer mobile-friendly content to the widest possible audience, then a mobile website is probably the way to go. In some cases, you may decide you need both a mobile site and a mobile app, but it's pretty safe to say that it really makes sense to build an app without already having a mobile website in place. So, the moral of the story, the website should be considered the first step, and then once you start getting a need to build in a more controlled environment, then an application should be the next step. So when it comes down to mobile site versus mobile app, our push is to get you going mobile and to get it going going into the mobile website and get it going fast. But that's it, guys. Man, I think this is a record. What time is it? Just about 30 minutes, I guess. And I have one more poll, so don't leave just yet. I wanted to talk a little bit about our YouTube channel. I'll just say all of our webinars go to our YouTube page, and you can see here, will you subscribe to our YouTube channel? Yes, yes, or yes. So, so you should go out there, because what happens is once I post them up, everybody selected yes, just in case you're wondering. So what happens is you get an email that looks like this little window on the right that says, "Hey, we've got a new thing. Go out and check it out. It's pretty stinking cool." Thank you guys so much for being here. Today is a busy day for us at Stand and Stretch, so I wanted to make sure I got a good webinar put in place, something that's helpful and something that we can use to send to future clients and you can learn from today. So check out sitandlearn.biz. Make sure you tweet something really cool, #sitandlearn, and let me know what you think. And I appreciate your time. Goodbye.